Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tuesday 10 with CadChica Sports. I am your host, CadChica, Sunny Cadwallader. Tuesday 10 is a quick 10-minute chat with leaders and up-and-comers in the world of sports. They're from business, marketing, media, broadcasting, social media, and much more. And I am happy to connect with someone who I admire and respect. I've met him through Twitter. Please welcome in my guest, Tom Buchheim.
Hey, everybody. Thank you.
I know. I had to bring in the sound effects today. Well, Tom, I gave you a nice introduction. I was teasing Tom a little bit in the green room, saying that I might give him a little bit of a hard time, but I went nice on you this time.
I was prepared for either one.
Very good. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Give a little bit of background.
Sure. Well, as we were talking before we went on air, I started in broadcast television in a newsroom setting, and really wanted to take the roots and move them into a communications and public relations role. And about 10 years ago, came to American Family Insurance and started in communications. And then about 5 years ago, we started a social media team there, and I was one of the founding members of that, and have been with American Family social media team for about 5 years. I've been leading their content strategy, and also being the community manager for their Facebook and Twitter pages, also for their blog, and I also I counsel our CEO Jack Salzwedel on best practices for social media. So he has a blog and is active on Twitter as well.
And Tom and I connected, like I said, through Twitter, but I think it's our passion and our love for the intersection of sports and social media that has really drawn us together to this point, to this show tonight. But I was thinking about this show last night, and I started thinking, oh man, that's right. Tom is a Steelers fan. I am a Raiders fan. We shouldn't even be getting along, should we? Oh, no.
I don't go anywhere without my terrible towel.
No, that is so not cool. I was in a private hangout last week with a New England Patriots fan who was like, tuck rule 1 week, immaculate reception this week. What do the football gods have against me? Well, you and I were also connected with Q1 Productions for the Digital Sports Fan Engagement Conference in Dallas, Texas last week. I wasn't able to attend, but you were. And as a media partner, when you were broached about being a part of it, what drew you to the conference and attending the conference?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll step back just real quick, too, because I guess I didn't touch on my interest in this curious intersection of sports and social media, and that really started about 3 years ago when I decided, insurance is great and all, but I needed an outlet to be a writer, and that's really one of my passions is to write. So, and social media was also a passion at the time. So I thought, well, this is not really a space that's being covered extensively by too many people. This was 3 years ago. We didn't even have a hashtag at the time. That came shortly after. And then so I started a blog, and one thing led to another. I started connecting with people in the industry, and they were interested in what I was writing about, and I was interested in what they were doing, and so we had this kind of connection. And so I've made those linkages through Twitter and through what I've done on the blog over the years, and I have hopefully come up with somewhat of a reputation. I don't blog often as I'd like to, obviously. I think you probably know what that's like, but that's kind of what happened with Q1 Productions. They approached me late last year, and wondered if I wanted to be a media partner for this event, which to me was really the first event of its kind for sports and social media, and also digital marketing on the side as well. So I was obviously very interested in doing this. I wasn't sure what they were looking for, but obviously we worked out those details, and it involved really covering what was going to happen at the conference, and then during the conference what people talked about and what the main topics of the different speakers were. So it was really a nice step up for me as far as what I've been doing with the blog, and it's really kind of lit a fire under me in the last few months to do more writing and pay more attention to what's happening in the space.
Definitely. Were there there were so many great speakers there. Is there one or maybe two that you just went wow with some of the information that they were sharing, or certain highlights or certain tidbits of information that you are still resonating with you now?
Absolutely. Yeah, the Seahawks social media uh, gentleman was there and shared a lot about what they've been doing over the past few months. Obviously, they've had a big light shined on them with the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But
don't remind me. Don't remind
yeah, sure.
me.
Yeah, I'm sure you live it every day. But 12th man. So anyway, what really impressed me was the way they were connecting with fans, and that's really kind of the focus of my blog, is really making sure that keeping these teams and leagues in check when they're producing social media content, that they always keep the fan in mind. And what really struck me from this the Seahawks perspective was that's exactly what they did. They used Twitter to connect with their fans in the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, and they did it in a really amazing way, an authentic way, by connecting one to one. And this is kind of the digital autograph that fans are looking for these days. They're getting that reply or that retweet from their favorite team. And what was impressive was their reply numbers during that 2 weeks were approaching 4,000. So they were having 4,000 interactions one to one with fans. When the Seahawks compared that to what their game opponents were doing, it was 7, or 8, I believe. So it was really, to me, telling which teams got not only were winning the game, but they were also winning the social media game. So I was very impressed with that. Also, I just think overall there's a real importance and an emphasis on the data that's happening around
Right.
social media. There's a ton of data. What do you do with it? And I
Right.
was impressed with a different teams and leagues that were really looking at the data that they have available to them, especially call out the Rangers, who looked at some of their attendance numbers and tried to figure out what could they do in social media to drive better attendance. And to me, that's really the sweet spot for social media pros, is to figure out what can you do with the figures that you get from your different platforms and from your own platforms to make a better, deeper connection, but also to drive bottom line. Because I
Right.
think at the end of the day, that's what the bosses are going to want to know. That's what my bosses want to know too.
Definitely. And as you indicated when you were giving your background a little bit, you work the social media management, social media um, for American Family Insurance. And as Seahawks fans may or may not know, Russell Wilson is a significant part of the American Family Insurance social media engagement with fans with that YouTube. I think it was a commercial right around the Super Bowl time. Can you tell me a little bit more about Russell Wilson's engagement with American Family and maybe some of the other athletes as well?
Sure. And that's really helped kind of drive what my interest even more in this space. We American Family contracted with Russell just over a year ago. Timing couldn't have been any better, obviously, from a brand perspective, to capitalize on his success. But I think what really speaks to that is Russell has stuck with us through and through. Even as his success has grown, he's stayed loyal to us as a brand, and we shot a television commercial with him in the fall during his off week, and with the idea that it would be run during the Super Bowl. We didn't know at the time, obviously, that
Right.
they would make the Super Bowl. So we had a couple of options going into the NFC Championship, and the one everybody got to see, obviously, was the one with Russell coming out of the locker room and walking out on the field. And so it was really, his story is really what we want to portray as a brand, and that's
Definitely.
pursuing your dreams and overcoming obstacles, and really he's the underdog, and American Family Insurance has always believed in supporting the underdog with what they do in insurance. So it's really helped kind of bridge that gap for people, and we got tremendous reaction from the television commercial. Obviously, it was something that people resonated with because he was the only active player featured during a Super Bowl commercial. So that was big for us. But we also did a ton of stuff with social media. We had a lot of different things that fans could unlock throughout the the run up to the game. And so it was just really a neat thing for me to be able to be a part of, knowing that in the back of my mind, this is really my passion, in addition to being, my day-to-day job.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Tom, our 10 minutes is up. I want to thank you for joining me. It was definitely the one thing I love about doing these hangouts, doing my show on Google Plus is, although we can't necessarily meet face-to-face in real life, we can meet face-to-face via video, via these shows. And so I was really excited when you agreed to come on the show and talk about the Digital Sports Fan Engagement Conference. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please tune in to my show next week, when I will be joined by Mark J. Burns. He is one of the stars of sports business. He is a contributor to sportingnews.com, sportsagentblog.com, and also he is a fellow with the Sports Symposium. So join me next Tuesday at 5 p.m., and we will talk to you next time. Thanks, everyone.